Hey everybody, Ron the Future here. So today I'm not showing any Hot Wheels or comic books or anything. Just thought I'd chat with you guys. Sometimes I like to do that. So right now it's Sunday, about 6 o'clock in the evening, and I thought I'd just come on and chat a little bit with you guys. Um, so some of you have been following me and you've seen that I got my 1970 Oldsmobile back from the classic car mechanic. So I did. I got it back. I have been running it around the neighborhood a little bit. Um, I've been waiting for the weather to cool off still so I can take it up and get it smogged one last time and then register it in Nevada, re-register it in Nevada. Then I can put the new tags on it. Then I could start driving around Las Vegas. But when I brought it home, it got a little bit hot. So eventually I might need to have an electric fan put on it because these older cars weren't made for the Las Vegas heat, 118, 115 degrees all summer long. So most older classic cars have an electric fan. So that helps draw the air through the radiator to cool off the engine better, more efficiently, more modern. So I'll probably be getting it smogged sometime this month. Now that it's November, the weather here is cooling off real nice in Vegas. So I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit cooler. But I wanted to address the homeless problem here in Las Vegas because people keep asking me. And then I've been seeing it a lot on YouTube, not just here in Vegas, everywhere. I've been watching California's homeless problem maybe for the last 3 or 4 years. I know some YouTubers that go out to Venice Beach and just all over San Fernando Valley and Hollywood and all that. So I know homeless is everywhere. I know it's in every city. I don't think it's in Beverly Hills though. As you watch videos on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, as far as I know, it's been a while since I've been there, quite a few years, but I see other YouTubers' videos. I don't see any homeless on Rodeo Drive or anywhere around Beverly Hills because the Beverly Hills Police Department are probably instructed to keep them out of there. Now, when I used to work in Hollywood, a lot of you guys know that already. I worked for George Barris and Jay Orberg. They did movie cars for movies and TV shows. Jay Orberg and we did a lot of shooting around Hollywood. We worked for Hugh Hefner and Playboy. They had an office there on Sunset, and we used to go in the back of their building and do photo shoots with the models, Playboy bunnies. And we do that in the afternoon, like between noon and say 5 or 6 at night. Then by the time we wrapped up, we'd load the cars and then we'd go through Hollywood. So I always noticed, and just walking through Hollywood as a tourist, even, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, there was always homeless. And they'd be laying on the sidewalk, real dirty and stuff. They've been homeless for a long time. It's a shame just to walk by and they'd have their little cup, people would put change in. I'd always wonder, what put them there? Did they lose a job? Did they have a job at all? Don't they know anybody they can live with? And that's when I was like 21 years old, Now I watch YouTube videos and I see the homeless encampments. It's tents or old cars or RVs or whatever it is. It's just like thousands, tens of thousands of people, homeless people in California. And one of the ways I used to go to work, I seen that road a guy did a YouTube video on that road, and it's all homeless encampments. So yeah, that was really sad to see that. Because when I used to travel that road about 30 years ago, there was no homeless on it. So we all know things have changed. Here in Vegas, of course, we do have homeless. A lot of people say you should give them money, you should give them food or clothes, whatever you can. Some say don't feed them If you don't feed them, they'll go somewhere else. I don't think they should be allowed on the strip or downtown. I mentioned that in a video I did a week or two ago. Nobody likes seeing that. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to be around homeless people. They do have diseases, and that's a whole nother subject. Airborne diseases. When you come to a nice city, a tourist city like Las Vegas, downtown in the Strip, especially the Strip, nobody wants to see that. And I see them at the Strip when I go down there. I guess our governors don't make the police get rid of them. I don't know. But now with the F1 race coming up in a little bit, I've heard they got rid of a lot of the homeless around that area because they're racing through Las Vegas. A lot of the homeless were there. So now they're coming more towards my area, the suburbs. And we don't want that. So I live about 5 miles from the Strip. It's not that far. So I was listening to a guy I watch on YouTube. I won't say his name. And so he was saying you shouldn't feed the homeless or give them money. I know that sounds really cold, But I'll tell you, he made some good points. Because I always thought that too, if you have any extra change or extra food. And he started saying, you got to think about the homeless. Again, what put them there? He said, if you notice, at least most of them, unless it's a family, they're either alcoholics or they're drug addicts or they have a mental illness. So he's saying either way they should be locked up, be fed, clothed, bathed, and be taken care of. And I started agreeing with him on that because he was saying, like in summer, the average summer degrees here says between 110 and 118. Usually like right around 115, we'll just say. So you got to figure. And when I drive down the street a couple miles from our house, the homeless are on the corner holding up the signs like in every town. But they're out there in 115-degree heat for hours and hours. And he started saying if they have the stamina to stay out there in that heat, they can get a job. And that makes sense because I'll tell you why. When it's 115 out there, most people have their cars in the garage or the driveway. So you go from your house to your car, you turn on the air conditioner, right? And so you want to go up to the store. So the store is like a block from me. So you go up to the store, you get out of your car, and of course when you walk to the store, then you feel the heat. It's like that blow dryer effect, right? And then you're in the nice air conditioning store. But by the time you walk maybe 100 feet into that store, you got the sun beating down on you, which feels like you're underneath the magnifying glass. Then you're breathing in that hot air. I like it. For a few minutes. I wouldn't want to stay out there for an hour or two. But you get drained. You start sweating. You just feel drained, right? You feel like you've been working outside all day in the heat. And these guys are standing there for hours and hours at a time in the heat. So you have to be pretty healthy to do that. They're not supposed to be eating or drinking because they're homeless, right? But somehow they manage to stay out there. Even the women, I've seen women do that. A lot of women, young women, older women. So of course, a lot of it's scams. So then the guy was saying, you shouldn't give them money because they're going to take that money, not buy food. They're going to go buy drugs with it. And where they get the drugs from, I just forgot the name for that. It's about drug addicts. Oh, the drug dealers. See? So you're giving the homeless money thinking they're going to buy food. The homeless take that money, go to the drug dealers, right? And buy drugs with that. So you're not helping the homeless guys eat and women eat, you're actually helping the drug dealers live a great life. And we don't want that, right? Nobody wants a drug dealers, homeless, in your city. Of course, I know they're everywhere. So that guy was making a lot of sense. I learned a long time ago, don't give them money or food and let them move on somewhere else. Like I said, I don't want him here in Las Vegas. And if anybody tells you the truth, they will tell you that they don't want homeless in their area. So then the guy I was watching was saying, oh, you're cold and cold-hearted. And then he had another point. He says, well, if you think I'm cold-hearted, why don't you go find a homeless man, bring him into your house. You feed him, you bathe him, you put clothes on him. You take him to the doctors. You spend your money on them. Now, the man I'm watching, he's done that. He did that. The guy needed a job, came to him because he owns his own business. And he said, for 10 years, I did that. I supported the guy. I gave him a job. I fed him, clothed him, did everything. He said, then after the 10 years, he said the guy left and he robbed him. He took, I think, some clothes, some tools, some other things. So he said, that's what I got for helping homeless. And this guy's been around homeless. He's had family members and stuff that were homeless. So he knows they're con artists. They're just trying to get what they can from you. They're not interested in being rehabilitated. They're not interested in going to work. They just want to get drunk or high, and then that either leads, to prison or death. We all know that already. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, in case you guys didn't know, I didn't know this. There's a new to me anyway, and new to the guy I watch. He filmed it on his channel. A new breed of scammers that they're called Gypsies. Now that might not be new. It's new to me. That these Gypsies go from town to town, holding up their signs on the corner, whatever it is, and that's how they make their money. And then they might have a little apartment somewhere in one city. But I don't want to say how, but this one set of Gypsies, this guy has been following, and other people have been letting him know. And these Gypsies go from town to town, like Southern California, here in Vegas. They'll go up to Washington, head down to Texas. They've been seen in Oklahoma. They drive vans. They've also been spotted. There's about maybe 3 or 4 Gypsies in one van. They've been spotted at the Texas-Mexico border, waiting for legal aliens to cross the border. Then they put them in the van and they drive them wherever, so they might be getting paid that way as well. But what they're doing is, which is awful, they're holding up signs and not saying, I want food or I'm out of work, whatever. They're holding up a sign saying, my baby died and I'm trying to raise money for a funeral. And these people are from Romania. So the guy I'm watching, he has some money. He's not poor. He has a few bucks. So as he's filming this, so he's filming himself saying what he's going to do. So he goes to the corner, then he turns the camera on them. So he walks up to these Gypsy scammers holding up the signs. And he says, hey, look, he says, I see your baby died. He said, I have money. He says, let me know what funeral your baby's at, the funeral parlor, and I'll pay for the whole funeral. I'll pay for everything. He says, I have money. He says, I'll go down there right now. Let me know where your baby's at. So the men really didn't speak English. The woman did a little bit, and she's like, oh, leave us alone, leave us alone. They don't want the money. So right there, it's a scam, right? So then they'll walk across the street. So the guy I'm watching, he's filming this, and he'll walk across the street with them. And he said, hey, I want to pay, for your funeral, or the baby's funeral. Your baby passed away. Let me pay for the funeral. So they keep saying, oh, the funeral parlor's in Romania, and, all the excuses. So anyway, he watched as they got in their van and took off. So he went to another area as he was driving by, and he seen him again, like maybe a week later. So he filmed him again. And the lady actually started throwing little rocks at him. You know, get away from me, because they don't want to be filmed. They don't want their pictures taken or their vehicles. And even filmed them when they were getting in their van. They didn't have a front plate, but they had a back. So the guy was driving. He wouldn't go forward because the guy wanted to film the back plate. So the guy who was driving put the van in reverse and went like around the building to where the guy, you know, couldn't film the back plate. But he did finally did film the back plate. He caught up to him. So that's what they're doing. And the guy was filming. People were actually giving these scammers money, holding up the sign, you know, my baby's funeral. Car after car, giving them money. These people could make hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars in a day doing that. So I just want to tell you, don't fall for it, because I've watched this video several times and you can see where it's a scam, okay? No baby died. This is how they make their money, and they go from town to town doing this. So just watch out for that, because I don't know if this is new, like I said, but it's new to me. So watch out for the homeless people that are holding up signs. A funeral, it could be their baby, their mom, their dad. Don't believe them. Like this guy was saying, probably 99% are just drug addicts or alcoholics, and they're just using you for money. And he also had a great idea, because, you know, the government's not stopping the homeless population as they could. They're just letting it go. He says the best thing, if they really wanted to get help, get rehabilitated, right? And then what they have to do, get jobs, because even around here, there's jobs everywhere. Every place I go, if it's a restaurant, a fast food place, it could be anywhere, that every sign in the window says help wanted. Every place. Especially the fast food, right? So the homeless can get a job, the fast food, they get cleaned up, rehabilitated. And the guy was saying, it had a great idea. If you get 3 or 4 guys working, okay, and say the apartment rent is $1,000, so each guy can make maybe $800, $1,000 a month. You get 4 guys, right? Maybe in a 2-bedroom apartment, and you put bunk beds, and all 4 of you share the apartment, share the rent, share the utilities. Now you're not homeless anymore. You're working. You have a nice little apartment. You have somewhere to stay. And I said, that's a great idea, because the government, they don't care. They're not doing anything, and it's just getting worse and out of hand. And this guy's really mad because where he lives, he's like on a main drag street, a real busy street. And he gets a lot of homeless walking by his house. And he just had to put up a big gate because the homeless were coming in, knocking on his door. They were going to the back where he has a pool, real nice pool and patio. And he has a nice little refrigerator there that holds sodas and snacks. And the homeless were going back there and having a field day. They were robbing his food in the refrigerator, his sodas and beer. So he finally had to put up a gate. So I just wanted to let you know that. I don't know how you guys feel about the homeless. I used to feel like that, like you should feed them and give them money when you can. But, you know, then he brought up that point that, you know, when you're homeless because you have nowhere to go. And he said, you have nowhere to go because you screwed everybody over. You know, when you think about it, that's true. So say you're a 30, 40-year-old guy. Okay, maybe you're working, maybe you lost your job. Okay, I've seen that happen. But how can you not have one friend that would take you in? You know, a friend, a family member, a co-worker, a neighbor. I mean, somebody. You have to know somebody that would take you in, right? At least for a few weeks to get another job or unemployment or welfare, whatever government assistance are out there. Now you figure, I don't know how many homeless there are here. Now you take Southern California. We all know how bad that is. Hollywood, Venice Beach, all that. California has some of the worst homeless encampments we've ever seen, right? You got to figure, how do all, we'll say there's 1 million people down there homeless. We'll just say 1 million for a nice round number. How can 1 million people not have a family member, a co-worker, a neighbor, a friend of any kind, even a friend of a friend, so that you're telling me they don't know anybody, nobody they can go stay with? And that's what the guy was saying. You really have to screw people over to be homeless. You know, you have to screw over your family, friends, neighbors, co-workers. And I never really thought of it like that. Sometimes when I think pretty deep, but this guy thinks even deeper and in detail than I do. I said, you know, I never thought of that. He's right. To be homeless, you have to screw everybody in your life over more than once, probably a good 5 or 10 times, where people will say, hey, you're not coming to live with me even though you lost your job and you're broke. Now you're going to stay out in the heat and the cold and probably freeze to death. To where people tell you that. They won't allow you in their homes. And then I found out this guy knows what he's talking about because he was raised around homeless and stuff. So he knows how they are as a con artist and scammers and how they cheat people. And I didn't know he grew up around that because he grew up really, really poor. I started thinking, you know, this guy has a point. You know, I was thinking in one hand, one way, but then I started seeing it his way. And like he said, you know, once you feed them, then they'll stay in that area, you know. So now I live in a pretty good area. And like I like to go to In-N-Out Burger, get some hamburgers. It's in a nice area. Well, now they're starting to come in my area, hanging out at the In-N-Out Burger. So people will feel sorry for them, get them a hamburger, or the McDonald's on the corner. Saying we don't want that. Because when you get one, you get two, then you get 100, then we got homeless encampments, then the prices on the homes go down, right? We don't want that. We even got a homeowners association here. How they will be on homeless around here, I don't know. I haven't seen any in our immediate area, like maybe within a block. I did see some at the In-N-Out, but that's about 2 miles away. That's 2 miles too close. It's bad enough they're on the strip in downtown, which is like 5 miles, 6 miles away from me. So anyway, I basically wanted to tell you, excuse me, to watch out for these scammers because I don't know what's coming next. You know, they've always held up the signs, I'm out of work, need money, need food. But see, now they're pulling on the heartstrings of people. And that's the worst thing. That's horrible. And then a baby, my baby's funeral, holding up that sign because they know everybody will give to that. And they're making a ton of money. So anyway, this guy I've been watching, he's very popular. And now people know that. And they're spreading the word. You know, don't give to homeless. Don't give to these scammers holding up the signs and my baby's funeral or my mom's funeral. You know, so these people, the certain set of people, they're right over from Romania. They can't talk English very good. And that's how they're scamming everybody. We had enough homeless people here before all this, you know, as it was. Like I said, you know, they're everywhere. You know, you just can't help it. But now since the legal immigrants have been coming over, now we got them. And wherever they're coming from in the world through the Mexican border. So it's just out of hand. So I just wanted to warn you guys about that. You really shouldn't give to any homeless. I know that sounds like a little cold, like what I'm saying. But again, you know, probably 98, 99% are drug addicts. They're just making the drug dealers rich. You know, bring over drugs from Mexico or Cuba, wherever they bring them from. We don't need that in any of our cities. You know, I don't want to see that in any city around the world. You know, not just America, not just Las Vegas. So just remember that when you see homeless, okay? however dirty they are or holding up signs, just remember, you're going to be a drunk or a drug addict, probably a drug addict, hard stuff, crack, cocaine, that stuff's expensive. So when you give them that money, not going to buy food or water, going to give it to a drug dealer, making the drug dealer rich. So he could go buy a Ferrari or another mansion, however great he or she is living, right? So we don't want to support the drug dealers. So anyway, I thought I'd just come on here real quick. I don't know how long it's been. So I've got to try to stop this homeless, and we have to do our parts too. If you feed them, you keep them in your area. If you give them money, you keep them in your area, and then they're making the drug dealers more rich, right? So we want to get rid of the drug dealers, those type of people. We want to get rid of the homeless. You know, we can get them rehabilitated, cleaned up. That'd be great. I did see a YouTube video, I don't know if it was Vegas or another city, that I think it was like local barbers. They would set up like a little booth or a tent, and on their day off, they would volunteer and give the homeless a haircut and shave. So I thought, let's see, that's a start. You get them cleaned up. Then maybe they could stay in a homeless shelter and then get a job. So I'm not an expert on this, but we have to do something, you know. So, and then again, if you don't feed them, there might be government, you know, places in the cities that can help them. I don't know. I never checked into that. Some say in each city there are shelters or some kind of help they can get, but they don't want the help because they'd have to be clean. They'd have to be off drugs and alcohol. And they don't want to be off drugs and alcohol. So if that's true, then they have a choice. They're not stuck on the streets. They can go get help, get cleaned up, get a job. They won't be homeless anymore. So I just want to let you guys know, just remember that any homeless you see, probably at least 98, 99% are going to be drug addicts. So you're not helping them in any way, okay? They're just going to give that money to a drug dealer. So just please keep that in mind. The best thing to do, like I said, don't feed them, no water. Let them go to the government, the city, downtown, police department, fire department, welfare, whatever, whoever handles that. Let the government take care of them. Feed them, clothe them at a homeless shelter, wherever they have to go. And try to get this cleared up, you know, because it's really out of hand. So I'm just trying to save you guys a lot of money because, like I said, that guy I'm watching, there was just car after car at the red light, you know, giving them dollar bills, you know, $1, a $5 bill, a $1 bill, a couple of dollars. Yeah, you do that for 3 or 4 hours, you're going to come out with thousands of dollars. So anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know. So let me know how your homeless problem is here. Here in Vegas, when I say it's bad, it could be a lot worse. I think what keeps a lot of them out is the heat. They can't take, you know, 115-degree heat. We're in Southern California, you know, the average temperature is probably 70, 80 degrees. So I could see where you're going to be homeless, you know, Southern California, that's the place to go. Everywhere else it's too hot or too cold in the winter. So here it does get cold, especially at night. You know, like December, January, February might get like 30 degrees, maybe 29 degrees. So I see why they go to Southern California, you know, for the weather. But there are some here. And it's a shame. We have a really nice park about 3 miles down the road. And it has a lake, and they stock it with fish and stuff, at least they used to. And I used to go there. I used to go there with my little dogs walking and stuff. And now when I go by, there are homeless. They're sleeping under the trees. They have really nice trees. They have really nice picnic areas and barbecues, you know, to bring your family. But who wants to go there when there's all homeless? They're just going to bug you for food or rob you, you know. So I haven't even been there. I'd like to take a walk around the park. I think they have basketball courts and tennis courts. But who wants to be bothered by these homeless people? Again, when they get close to you, they're going to breed their germs on you. God only knows what they have. I don't want to be around them. I'm sure you guys don't either. And the park that's right down from my house, that's the best park I've ever seen, that I've ever lived around. And I really don't feel like going there because I don't want to be bothered by the homeless. So like I said, they have these really big, nice trees. They make a lot of shade. And in summer and spring, well, even in winter, they like to stay by underneath the trees and sleep and everything. So, yeah, I hope they get that cleaned up one day. It's not bad, but the homeless, they're there, scattered. But it'd be nice to go there and not have to see or deal with any homeless. So anyway, so to wrap this up, I used to think that was good to help the homeless. But looking at it from this guy's view, that he knew homeless, grew up with homeless, he knows how they are, and it's best you just leave them alone. Don't give them any money so they go somewhere else and get help. So now I see his point of view. Like I said, I never, helped the homeless or gave them any money. I've always wanted to, it's in my heart to. But again, you look at them, you think they're not going to buy food or water. You can tell they're drug addicts. And the worst are the ones with the little dogs or even the big dogs. Because that really pulls on the heartstrings. And I've seen people giving the guys money, especially when they have the dogs. And I hate that because that's cruelty to animals. Because that dog's in the heat when it don't need to be. The dog's in the cold when it don't need to be. And God only knows if he's giving the dog food and water. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. I didn't want to make this video that long. Give me your thought on the homeless. If you think you should feed them, not feed them. I know everybody has a different opinion on that, and that's okay. So anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that. That's my little story here. So anyway, as always, leave in the comments below. And you guys take care out there, and I'll see you guys next time.